Nice day out there, huh? A little toasty as I walked over here, but we're excited. Opening day, seeing the guys come in, having the staff here after a great summer, refreshed, ready to go. Our guys have been awesome. And to see them back now and that smile on their face, and they're ready to go. I'm ready to go. Our staff's ready to go. And it's going to be fun. So I'm excited to be here. Let's open it up to some questions.
When you first kind of came here and kind of saw the players that you had here, what really excited you about the group?
I think they're the talent, right? The talent that's spread around from front to the back end. You know, we got great size, we got great speed, length at all levels of the defense. And that's something I saw a few years ago, even before I got here, when I was down here visiting, and the history that this place has. So that excited me, and there's a lot of returners as well, you know, from the previous year, which is a good thing. It's experience. It's a veteran group, right? And that's going to help us.
When you look at that, the experience level, how much does that help you when you're coming in and you're trying to implement your own philosophies? Like, you might not be changing things scheme-wise, but when you have a group of guys that have experienced college football, that know what this program is about, how much easier does it make it as a defensive coordinator?
Yeah, that's a great question. It helps a lot when you have guys that have played, right? No matter what the defense is, the scheme, they got game experience. They got scars. They got a lot of positives that have come out in the games that they've played. They know the league. They know who we're playing. You know, the league's new to me, even though I've been studying it since I got here. That's big, because when you got guys that have played, it helps. They know they've been in those situations, and they can bring along other guys. So when we talk about that veteran leadership that we have, it's big. Although I haven't had a chance to coach a game with them, I've seen a huge difference from when I got here in March to where we are now, right? Going through spring ball, through summer program, OTAs, the workout room. Like, there's a difference in the short time that I've been here. Now, it's this next step, right? And we talked about putting that foundation down. And when we got here, we were pouring the cement, right, back in March, right? Towards the end of that spring, we started, you know, at the end of that spring, the walls were up, just the wood, the frame, right? Then the summer came. And to where we are right now, it's not complete, but this next month's going to be big for us, real big.
What does a Jim Salgado defense look like?
A Jim Salgado defense, it's going to fit with what we have, right? The players. It's all about the players, right? It's not about scheme. But I tell you this, we're going to be fast, and we're going to play fast, and we're going to play physical, and we're going to be played with great fundamentals. Because again, it doesn't come down to the schemes. We're going to be able to be fundamentally sound, right? And we're going to stop the run, and we're not giving up big plays, right? And if we do that and play great situational football, third down, red zone, we're going to be fine. We're going to be real good, and that's the goal.
Coach, I think you said that you've inherited a good defense. What are you going to do to make them a great defense?
Fundamentals, right? Fundamentals, how we get off blocks, how we run to the football, how we tackle, right? And then going into situational football, right? Those specific things that we own. We got to stop the run, right? Then when we get them in the third down, we got to be able to defend the pass, right? Or they get down to the red zone. Sometimes that happens. They get down there. Well, we got to play great down there. And they have to know that. We have to put them in those situations when we practice, right? So that when they get there in the game, hey, I've been there. I know what to do. I know what to expect on this side of the field. I know what kind of routes we're getting here. Oh, I know it's first and second down. It's probably going to be an RPO in today's college football, right? They're going to run the ball or maybe pass it, depending on what you do on defense. So putting them in those situations, and that's how I see it, with our guys.
When you, how would you explain to someone who's not a coach this black and white, no gray? How does that correlate to getting off the field on third down and stopping them?
Black, white, no gray, right? It's that simple. They know what they're doing. How are we going to be better? It's defined to them. And so when it goes in, like when we go to meetings tonight, they're going to know what our philosophy is tonight. When they walk, it's going to be the third time they've heard it. And it's black, white, no gray. So when we go to that next meeting for practice and we install whatever those defenses are, it's black, it's in black and white. We don't want any player on our defense having, because then what happens? It slows you down. And you can't play what? The question you asked me. You can't play fast. Right? And if you can't play fast, you can't play physical. Right? So that's where the black, white, no gray, making sure whatever we put in, and it's all vetted out within the staff too. When we meet together, we make sure that we're all on the same page. And if there's any gray, because if there's gray with us, what do you think is going to be with the players, right? So that's where the black, white, no gray we're trying to get to, and we've come a long way, right, since I got here. And that's what we're trying to get so that they can go on that field behind me and play fast.
How much catching up do you have to do in August with you being a new coordinator still by the end of August, Cam?
Catching up, I don't think from a catching up standpoint, it's more, we've been through this a couple of times, like I said earlier, with the spring and the summer. Now we're trying the competition, to me, is more about our players. We got a lot of guys that have played, but now we need to get it to a point where, all right, these are the guys that we think are going to be playing, and these are the guys, it's not just going to be 11 guys, it's going to be more. We want to play more than that, right? To me, these next 30 days are about the competition and seeing where we're at. Who's ready? Who's the next guy in line? And so that we can go out there and compete. Because that's these next 30 days, to me, is the critical part of it, the competition. Because when you got competition, you create depth. When you have depth, that's when you become a pretty good football team. And that's what we're trying to get with our defense. Because we all know, to think that you're going to line up on August 31st with 11 guys and it's going to be the same 11 when we're playing in the Sun Belt Championship, there's a good chance that's probably not going to be the case. I hope so, right? But we need to build that competition and build the depth. That's what I'm thinking about this next month before we head into the season.
The defensive line, Coach talked about it, media days, adding more bulk. How is that, personnel-wise, how is that playing out?
Yeah, I think our guys, Coach Neighbors has done a good job with the guys that have been here, right? Adding them more bulk, giving them a great foundation underneath themselves, putting on some more muscle and the strength. We also had an addition to the team that came in from the portal, so we got a young man that's a little bit bigger that'll be playing on that defensive line that's going to be able to help us, a couple of guys. So they've been through the summer, didn't get a chance to go through spring with them, so now we're going to see these next 30 days, we talk about that competition. And that helping us, because you need D-line. You need numbers. Because in this heat down here, right, guys got to play and we got to rotate. We got to be fresh, at least 2 deep where we're rolling guys through. And I think the guys that we added along with the young men that we had here all spring, we got a good group of guys up front that we're going to be able to rotate through and be able to play fast and physical and run to the ball. Because that's what we got to do. When you say play fast, like when that tape goes out, right, about what? I'm going to say we're kicking off somewhere around 7, I think, on the 31st. That tape's going out in cyberspace probably about midnight through all the video coordinators. Everybody in the country can see it, right? PFF, all that stuff. And I told those guys, and I'll tell them again tonight, when that tape goes out, people are going to be saying, oh, you know what? Look out. That's what we expect from our defense.